Over the years, there has been a real obsession with the love of God in our churches and Christendom. If it be in our worship songs, the books that have been written, sermon series and devotionals. And yes, absolutely, we should be obsessed with the love of God because the love of God is everything and we should pursue it with all our hearts. But I wonder, in our enthusiasm to go deeper into the love of God, we actually bypass the process that enables us to go deeper. Because to experience the many blessings of God that come through our personal relationship with his Son, Jesus Christ, there is often a process which at the heart can feel costly and involves a sacrifice. Let's take our salvation, for example, which is a free gift that no one can earn, but the cost is that we need to be willing to give our whole lives to Jesus for that saving to take place. And so for every Christian who already knows and experiences the love of God through his Son Christ, if we really want to go deeper and know that love even more, there is a process which may feel costly to some, which is this. To really deepen and widen our knowledge of the depths of his love, then we will really need to know and widen our knowledge to the depths of our sin. And for some, that is a process that they would rather not go through, to focus on the bad as well as the good, because that might feel uncomfortable, or to some might even feel unbiblical. But if you study the scriptures and the biblical saints of old, you will see that this is totally biblical. In fact, this is something that the Puritans of old got so right. That group of Protestant believers in the 16th and 17th century who preached beautiful sermons and wrote magnificent books on the love of God, which have inspired so many theologians, thinkers and believers today, yet who at the same time knew the depths and horror of their sin and wretchedness before a holy God. Think about what the Apostle Paul says about this in Romans chapter 5 verse 8, that famous verse on God's love, which says, "But God demonstrates his love for us in this, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Paul is recognizing that the display of God's love is demonstrated in the backdrop of our sin and not in our goodness. I truly believe the more you understand how sinful your sin is before a holy God, the more you will marvel in God's love for you. And the perfect place to meditate on that is at the cross. Tim Keller, the late pastor and writer who was deeply influenced by the Puritans, would often say on this theme, using the cross, that at the cross we recognise that we are more sinful in ourselves than we ever dared believe. Yet at the very same time we recognise we are more loved than we ever dared hope, because of what the Father and Christ were willing to do out of love for us. Probably one of the most famous Puritans of old, Jonathan Edwards, said this about the love of God. God's love is so great, so deep, that it cannot be fully comprehended by finite minds. And I believe that is so true. But wonderfully, this side of eternity, we can enjoy searching the depths and blessings of his love. But please, don't take any shortcuts. Don't bypass the process. Because to really go deep and understand God's love for you, you must also grow in your understanding through God's word of just how sinful and unworthy you are of receiving such love. Be blessed.